Steve, why don't we go over the time for the gates opening tomorrow and whatnot? 6, right?
6 a.m. they're going to open tomorrow. The show is starting early, so the gates are going to be opening up early. So 6 a.m. you'll be able to get into the actual amphitheater here. And it's going to open up tomorrow morning at 9:15 with Little Steven, Miami Steve Van Zandt, and the Disciples of Soul. He, of course, the Bruce Springsteen member, and great band on his own, really.
Without a doubt. And after that, we'll have Berlin, LA's own. They'll be on at about 10:15 in the morning. And, of course, they only have an EP out right now, but just about every song on the EP has been played on the radio. They're a very promising band.
Yeah, and then Portland, Oregon, I believe, is Quarter Flash.
As a matter of fact, that's exactly right. They used to be called Seafood Mama.
Right.
Great name change.
Now it's 3 parts foolish, 3/4 foolish, 1 part Flash.
Right, and that's, I think, an Australian term.
Yep.
U2 from Ireland, not from Northern Ireland, but from Dublin, from the country of Ireland, will be playing after that. They'll be on about 12:20 in the afternoon, tentatively.
And then one of the 7 LA-based bands that are playing at the US Festival this year, Missing Persons. Most of those people, graduates of the Frank Zappa School of Musicology.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah, right.
Pretenders will be on with a couple of brand new members in the band. That'll be about 3:10 in the afternoon. And then a guy who was moved from today to tomorrow.
Right, yeah. Joe Walsh, originally scheduled for today, will be on tomorrow, which really makes more sense, actually, in light of today being really heavy metal day. I think that Joe Walsh will fit right nicely in there.
About 6:20, we'll see Stevie Nicks. She was here last year with Fleetwood Mac, and this year will be solo. And then the person that people have been talking about for weeks, literally months before the event.
You know, the one thing is that so many of the performers here are waiting to see David Bowie. He hasn't played in this country in 5 years. They've completely rebuilt the set that he's using in Europe because it was too massive to bring over. So at the cost to the Steve Wozniak, they rebuilt the set. He's getting $1.5 million up front, plus the cost of rebuilding the set. It's going to be an incredible show, and there's been rumors flying all over the place about some really special lighting things happening.
Reminds me of one of the things that David Lee Roth said a little earlier tonight. What do you think about your payment for the US Festival? $1.5 million laughs. I guess so.
Let's check them out.
To the bank. Yeah. Let's listen. Yeah. I think that is the first encore. I have a feeling they're going to be back one more time. David Lee Roth has not really taken some shots at other bands tonight, but with the thing with the Clash last night, he did have a couple of things to say. One of the comments he made was, there are twice as many people here tonight as last night, and that meaning is obvious. And the other thing that I heard right at the beginning of the set was that he held up a whiskey bottle, and he said, this is the Van Halen way to do things, and the only group that he could think of that would pour out the whiskey and put in iced tea was the Clash. So he got his chops in, without a doubt.
Oh, he did. And, let's face it, it was a strong bill today. And Van Halen, of course, the anticipation was here, but they had to be good because we have seen some great rock and roll this afternoon and this evening, but they deserve the billing.
Quickly, Steve, let's cover the things that people can and cannot bring. Still camera's okay. Movie camera, no way. Forget a tape recorder. You won't get in with it. Forget a backpack. You can bring a knapsack and a couple of things. You can bring containers for liquid, but no liquid within those containers, and you'll be limited to a few items as far as food. You can bring some things in, but I guess the idea, they really want you to buy things here.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
I think that makes sense. Wozniak, who was up here a little while ago, said they really are taking a bath, even with today's turnout.
Yeah.
And for my money, for $20 for a party like this, you can't lose.
It's a hell of a show, and just just a thrill, and the people here, these people out here to enjoy the show have just been tremendous, just superb.
Compliments
Guys,
to
let me
crowd,
ask
the rock and roll bands that have played, and of course the Unison people, the promoters of the festival. They've really done well. I think that really wraps it up, Joe. We're going to throw it back to you.
Okay, I'd like to ask you a question or two here before we go, though.
Oh, please.
The weather today is going to be much cooler tomorrow than it was today or it was yesterday. You still suggest people coming out, bring out a lot of sunscreens and hats and things of that nature?
Yeah, cooler from 92 to 86 is, bring your sunscreen.
Yeah, there's still a lot of sunshine, but even today was cooler than yesterday, and tonight was not as cold. It was a nice temperature tonight, but do bring some sun protection material and do bring some kind of jacket or sweater or sweatshirt or something like that, because it does get a little chilly in the evening.
And what else do you have, Joe? You've been tapped into the switchboard all night long.
That's been mainly it. People wondering what time the gates were going to open, what traffic was going to be like, and I think you covered that by saying get out there after 2 o'clock this morning. That pretty much covers that end of things. The acts begin at 9.
Area, don't even leave until 2 o'clock in the morning, because it's I would think 3 hours to get everybody out of here from right now.
So, okay. Joe, we saw a hell of a rock and roll show today, man.
Boy, I'm telling you.
I heard some things too, guys. Well, I wish I was out there, but I'll be talking to you this time tomorrow night again, so I'd say behave yourselves now that you're done, but
you've got to be kidding.
You know better.
Thank you very much for the report. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Joe.
Okay, here we are, KLOS. Let's continue now the 7th day. Our last album of the evening is The Stray Cats.